Have you ever judged someone before truly knowing their heart? If you have, this story will change the way you see people forever. So stay till the end, because what the rich CEO discovered that night: a broken bar will melt even the coldest heart. And before we begin, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more stories that touch your soul. It all began on a rainy evening inside the grand mansion of Ethan Walker, a billionaire CEO known for his cold demeanor, sharp mind, and ruthless discipline. To the world, he was the perfect man, powerful, brilliant, and untouchable. But behind his success was loneliness, silence, and a heart that had forgotten warmth. A week earlier, his new maid, Clara, had joined the staff. She was quiet, humble, and always avoided eye contact. She moved like a shadow, always present, yet almost invisible. The other servants whispered about her how she was too timid, too soft, and not fit for a mansion like this. But Ethan noticed her, not because she was different, but because she reminded him of something he'd lost long ago: innocence. One night, after a long day of meetings, Ethan overheard two maids gossiping. "She's strange," one said, "always praying before bed, and she gives half her salary to the orphanage." Ethan frowned. Half her salary? He couldn't understand why someone so poor would give away what little she had. Curiosity got the better of him, and that's when an idea, half mischievous, half testing, crossed his mind. He decided to pretend to fall asleep on the couch the next evening, to see how she behaved when no one was watching. Maybe she'd slack off, maybe she'd snoop around like others had. Ethan had caught dishonest workers before, but what he saw that night was something he would never forget. That evening, Clara entered the living room quietly, carrying a folded blanket. The lights were dim, and Ethan lay there, pretending to sleep. She hesitated at first, unsure if she should disturb him. Then she knelt beside him and gently placed the blanket over his shoulders. But she didn't stop there. She looked at his face for a long moment, her eyes full of sadness and something else: a broken bar empathy. Then, softly, she whispered, "You must be so tired, sir. You look lonely." Ethan's breath caught, but he stayed still. Her voice trembled as she continued, "I don't know what burdens you carry, but a broken bar. I hope God gives you peace. People think rich men have everything, but maybe you need kindness more than money." Tears formed in her eyes, and she bowed her head. She didn't take anything. She didn't complain. She didn't even know he was awake. She just prayed for him. When Clara left, Ethan opened his eyes, and for the first time in years, he couldn't move. He was frozen, not from shock, but from guilt. He had tested her honesty, yet she had shown him compassion. The next morning, he watched her quietly as she scrubbed the marble floor, her hands red and raw. Something inside him shifted. He began observing her not as an employer, but as a human being. He saw how she skipped meals to save money, how she sent envelopes of cash to an orphanage every month, and how she smiled through her exhaustion. Days passed, and Ethan started finding reasons to talk to her. "Clara, have you eaten?" he'd ask awkwardly. She'd shake her head, embarrassed. One day, he caught her fainting near the kitchen. He carried her to the guest room himself, surprising the whole staff. When she woke, she panicked. "I'm sorry, sir. I didn't mean to." "Clara," he interrupted softly, "when was the last time you ate properly?" She hesitated, tears filling her eyes. "It's okay, sir. A broken bar. I send most of my money to the orphanage. They have children with no one. I can't let them starve." Ethan's chest tightened. This girl, who had nothing, was giving everything. Meanwhile, he, with all his wealth, couldn't remember the last time he gave without expecting something in return. That night, he couldn't sleep. He kept remembering her pour, the softness in her voice, the kindness she gave so freely. The next morning, he called his assistant. "Find me the orphanage she donates to," he ordered. When he visited, he saw children running around in torn clothes, yet smiling brightly. The caretaker told him, "That girl, Clara, she's our angel. Without her, we wouldn't survive." Ethan's eyes stung. He quietly wrote a check big enough to rebuild the entire orphanage, adding only one condition: tell no one who donated. A week later, Clara was called to the orphanage and saw the new roof, new beds, and warm meals for the kids. She fell to her knees, crying with joy. "Go the broken bar, thank you," she whispered, never knowing Ethan was watching from his car a few meters away. When she returned to the mansion that night, she found a letter on the kitchen counter. It read, "Greater than kindness needs no witness. Clara, you taught me that. Thank you for reminding me what it means to be human." There was no signature, but beside the note lay a new contract. Her salary had tripled, and her schedule had been reduced. When she tried to thank him, he simply smiled for the first time. "Just keep being who you are. The world needs more people like you." Months passed, and the mansion felt alive again. Ethan laughed more. The staff felt lighter. Even the gardens seemed to bloom brighter. All because one shy maid had shown the richest man that kindness was the truest form of wealth. So if you ever think your small acts of goodness don't matter, remember Clara. She had nothing, yet changed the man who had everything. If this story touched your heart, give it a like, share it with someone who needs hope today. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that remind us, the richest hearts are often found in the humblest souls.